Hello and welcome to Happy Foot Sad Foot, your LAFC gateway drug and the only LAFC podcast with one host who is always lost. I'm Darren Miller.
And I'm Vince LaRosa. Welcome to our double preview episode of LAFC's first two competitive matches of 2025. The first on Tuesday, February 18th. That's my mom's birthday. Against the Rapids. Happy birthday, Mom. I'm sure she'll be watching the postgame. Against the Rapids at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Colorado at 7 p.m. for the first CONCACAF Champions Cup match, followed by their first match of the MLS regular season on Saturday, February 22nd versus Minnesota United at 1:30 p.m. at BMO Stadium.
You can watch Tuesday's match on FS2 and Saturday's match on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV Plus and Fox Deportes. Basically, if you turn on a TV, you will see it. And for both matches, our live postgame call-in show will start 10 minutes after the final whistle at youtube.com/@HappyFootSadFoot.
Later in the show, we'll cover the good, the bad, and the ugly of this year's new MLS kits. We'll be joined by Travis for storylines from across the Atlantic Ocean, which means walkable city.
Walkable city.
And of course, we'll make some bets, but first we need to figure out what happened to our invitations to Travis's latest trip to Europe. It's listener-mandated banter. Yeah, wait a second. This is a good point.
Why is he not taking us on these trips?
The man can literally just pick up and go to Europe anytime, it seems like. And each time he does do this, he's like, yeah, I'm meeting some friends there. I'm going with some friends there. And he does refer to us as friends from time to time, yet
the logic seems to check out to me.
I mean, he can't even come to Long Beach to visit me. So
he does try.
He tried. He did at least try. I would say that. Yeah, but actually, now that I think about it, I'm terrified what might happen if we did try to go on a European adventure. He would end up.
We wouldn't all end up in Europe. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Very. I don't know what would happen though. Any number of things.
Have you been to Europe with Travis?
Happy birthday to your mom.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Have I been to Europe with Travis?
Yeah. I mean, your friendship goes back much farther than this show and my knowing of both of you. So maybe there was a chance that you two could have been in Europe together at some point.
We have been on trips together, but not to Europe, unless I'm just forgetting it. That'd be funny. No, I don't think we have. I haven't been to Europe many times.
I've never been.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to go this year though. My birthday's in September. I'm gonna hit up my good friend Giorgio. Say, hey, you know, I'm gonna go out there to Italy. Love to see a Juventus game. I hear you know some people.
Yeah.
And maybe we go together, or no, I mean, he doesn't even have to see me. But if he could get me in and a nice seat, that would be more than enough.
Maybe we should crowdsource, if you give the audience, here are 3 texts I could send to Giorgio, and we pick different thirst levels, and we pick just the right amount of thirst.
Also, where to send it on.
Be off-putting.
Also, I need what platform to send it on, because I feel look,
oh, sure.
Don't get me wrong, we've exchanged DMs on Instagram, but he does also follow me on LinkedIn. I mean, is that a more professional way to approach this? Is that the real way to do this?
Wow, I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. For some reason, obviously, you're more familiar with LinkedIn in the soccer world than I am. I can't compute.
It's still very weird.
Sport and LinkedIn. It doesn't work for me at all.
Whenever I see a player and it's like a very professional headshot, but not like an athletic headshot, but then it says professional soccer player on LinkedIn, I'm like, what are you doing here?
What's going on?
But then I understand it makes sense. You can only play for so long when your career is over, and especially if you're playing in MLS, you're probably going to need to make some money. You'll have a lot of connections to high-powered businessmen. I mean, at LAFC alone, there's 100 billionaires that own the club. I mean, your odds are pretty good there.
The 100 billionaires.
Yeah, the 100 billionaires.
As it's known.
The 100 billionaires club. That's what they call the secret club inside of the director's box.
Yes, that's right. The 100 Billionaires Club.
Please start the show. Get us out of here.
Let's start the show. Okay, well, I represent the casuals here on the show in that while I love LAFC and will never miss a match, all I see on the pitch is ball get kicked, ball go in net, Frenchman flip. I don't have time to keep track of all the roster moves, tactics, rumors, and memes that made that ball go in net even more significant than I realized. Luckily, my friend Travis, the human LAFC crazy wall, will do anything and go anywhere to find the truth and dig to the roots of what's going on with this club. MLS announced they're moving their headquarters to Connecticut, and last week you saw Travis join us from ground zero of that vital story. This week we see more international roster moves and the first match in an international tournament, and Travis joins us from the heartbeat of international soccer itself, London, England. And as Travis traverses the globe, spending sleepless nights obsessively investigating this team, Vince joins us with exponentially more useful expertise and insight right off the top of his head without leaving his home. Makes you think. Together, each week, they both catch us up on the most important storylines that live beneath the surface of every match so we can all enjoy them so much more in a segment we call Storylines. Well, we did it. We're into the first storylines of the season.
The storylines.
We did a storylines for the season preview, but this is it. We're in it now, guys. We're in the trench.
I haven't listened to or watched Travis's storylines ahead of time.
I haven't either.
Is he like? Oh, okay. So we'll both find out if he's like in regular season form.
So yes, Travis has not joined us for this part of the podcast thus far, but he sent in video for storylines. He also sent in a video, Bet It and Forget It. So he is with us both in spirit and in technology. Let's play the first storyline. Okay. You want to get right into it?
Yep.
Wow. Here I am in London, which is in Europe. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. And I'm here to give you your storylines for this week's double episode. And the first storyline, I think, as we all know, is an important one. That building back there survived the Great London Fire. Ever heard of it? Read some history, guys. The soccer here is really good. The first storyline is, I think, one that we all have on our minds going into this week. And it's this. Look at this building, huh?
Travis, get to the storyline.
Oh, my God.
Ain't got that in downtown LA. The first storyline is this. What's our starting lineup going to look like? I think there's a couple of locks. Right, we have Bouanga Giroud. I think we know our midfield is going to be Tillman, Jesus, and Delgado. I think we have Lloris. But outside of that, we got Martinez starting, maybe? What's the back line look like at all? Is Hollingshead still our guy? Or maybe we're going to go with everyone's new favorite player, Nkosi Tafari. So, Darren Vince, I come to you from this incredible walkable city at 8 a.m. because I couldn't wake up. Look at this. With the first storyline. Go.
I don't know anyone else who has the power to make me so mad and happy at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, he's in regular season form in the fact that he's not here. This is just what he does. But wow,
Travis is stretched and ready to go more than we are.
That took a lot of time. I mean, talk about stretched. He really stretched that.
A long walk for a short drink on the first storyline of the season.
Wow. And you know what the bummer is? Answer is pretty straightforward. I think we saw the starting 11 because it was very similar to. I think it was exact same of what was the starting 11 against the Chicago Fire in the Coachella game, and I think that's what the 11's going to be, unless there's any injuries that we don't know about that happened this week in training. The one thing to note, though, I will say, is it's supposed to be balls cold there. The polar vortex is back, Darren. It's going to be like 15 degrees.
So they just canceled the Miami game.
Oh.
That's supposed to be what, in Vancouver, I think?
No. It's going to feel like Vancouver. It's supposed to be in Kansas City, and it's supposed to be negative like 10 or 11 degrees in Kansas City, which not far away from Colorado. However, Colorado is going to be...
So I wonder if their point of view is going to be that, 20 degrees difference is enough for LAFC to play, or that Messi not being on the team is enough for LAFC to play.
I was going to say, is this more a function of Messi saying, you know what, I might not play, and them going, wait a second, he's not going to play? Okay, cancel it.
Okay.
Can't. Like we're not doing it without him. Whereas Giroud might be like, you know, that's kind of cold. They're like, suck it up, French man. Suck it up.
Giroud, by the way, speaking of suck it up, which is taking it way too far, his house just got robbed.
You know what's
So
funny?
this is a double. His house just got robbed, and now he has to play in this weather?
But you know what, Darren? I'm happy about it.
He's going to want to leave.
No. I'm glad. Do you want to know why I'm glad, Darren?
Uh-oh.
Because this means we've made it as a soccer nation. This happens all the time in Europe. It happens in England when these guys play.
Okay, good.
Like Manchester United players all the time. They'll be literally at a game, and the same fans that probably cheer them on are like, yo, did you know that Bruno Fernandes is playing right now and his house is right over there? And they're like, let's go rob it. That's just how it happens. Liverpool happens to Liverpool players all the time. So I think we made it.
Okay.
I mean,
so he's
Italy,
not like, fuck this city, fuck this country.
No. Come on. In
He's
Italy,
like,
guys
well,
literally walk up to soccer
comes to
players on the
territory.
street and just try to rob them. And it's gone wrong for a lot of potential robbers where they realize, oh, these guys are actually fit and they'll fight me.
Yeah.
There's been stories of that where that's gone wrong. I think Leonardo Bonucci, one of Giorgio's old pals, I think I want to say it was in Naples where they tried to take his watch and he beat the shit out of them and scared them off, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if these burglars knew whose house it was, if it was targeted. But if they did, I would assume they made sure he wouldn't be home because you try to get in there and you see Giroud there. That guy's 10 feet tall.
Yeah, I would definitely not want to go head to head with him, especially with his family home. I'm sure he's a whole totally different animal. I love
that's a one-punch knockout situation.
Okay, let's do the starting 11. I literally think it's going to be the same as Club America, which for a lot of people is going to be fine, but they're going to look and say, well, why is Eddie Segura playing? And I think a lot of it just comes down to understanding the system, continuity. I do think that Chanot maybe and Marlon maybe aren't as fit in terms of like their health. And then you have Nkosi, who I think is great, but like he hasn't been here long enough. And at the start of the season, you want like a lot of continuity and a lot of guys that know the system. So that's why I think that we'll see someone like Eddie Segura with Aaron Long. And unless somebody says that they don't want to play in the 10-degree weather, I really think that that's going to be the 11. That includes David Martinez starting.
That's cool. I'm okay with that. Like we said last show, it might be his year to, at the very least, give him the chance early to prove that this is a year worth giving him those minutes. Do you think the cold weather means more substitutions or less or neither?
That's interesting. I think that has to be a consideration, but I think just in general, there's going to be maybe more substitutions just because you understand you're playing 3 games. You're starting the season with competitive games and you got 3 within a week right away. That's kind of tough. Like it
plus
usually
CCC versus MLS.
Yeah, it usually takes
balance.
You 4 to 5 games to really get that actual full level of fitness. And so I think Steve's going to have to be careful with guys because really this part of the season is it's obviously important in general. You want to get off to a good start, but in terms of your fitness, you're getting to that very last rung on the ladder. And if you get injured at this point, it can really set you back to where like you're almost starting from scratch. And that's a bad place to be in when a lot of guys are then getting up to full speed. They're in mid-season form and you're literally having like a second preseason.
Yeah. Well, one thing that was different about this offseason is that we are going into the season with some depth, so maybe we should use it.
Yep.
All right, second storyline.
Hello, wow, great answers, everyone. Really enjoyed what you said about the storylines.
It's just one.
Second storyline is, I'm sorry for pulling the headset mic so close to my mouth. It's instinctual. Second storyline, can we finally win CONCACAF Champions Cup? We've gotten close in the past. We've been exhausted. But in those exhausted years, we also were playing multiple tournaments. This year we get to play one fewer. Look at this shit, huh? Look at that shit, huh?
Okay.
Look at that shit. But it's never happened outside of one time, Seattle, a MLS team winning. Liga MX obviously has different roster construction rules. It becomes much easier for them to win these tournaments. They're in better form than we are, but our first round's against Colorado. If we lose to them, we don't deserve to win. What do you guys think about our chances this year and our current route to the Champions Cup? Who is our biggest competition? Is it Messi or is it our good friends over in Liga MX?
All right. Okay. CONCACAF Champions Cup. Should we real quick, like a refresher on the rounds? Is it group stage, then 2-leg matches after that, or how does
no
this...
more group stages for everybody? That's why we're literally playing in our 2-leg right now.
This is a 2-leg match,
right? This is so there are some teams that are already through. I believe Galaxy, one of them, they go directly into the round of 16. We're kind of playing in this like purgatory round of fixtures in which we can get into like kind of the competition proper and the way we kind of always know it. That being said, it all comes down to like who you line up with.
So Columbus is pre-seeded.
Right. So like I said, there's a few teams that are pre-seeded that are already in that round of 16.
And that Miami SKC game is also a CONCACAF Champions Cup game.
Right. Yeah, Miami is not through the 16. It's Columbus, Monterrey, that's our old friends in Alajuelense. Yeah, so LAFC wins and they go through and they would play Columbus, which this is a very different Columbus team.
Are they finally having a rebuilding year?
I mean, by the very nature of the players that they've lost, you have to say that, right? Like you can't not say you lose Cucho, you lose guys like that. You can't not say that you're not rebuilding in some fashion, right? As Travis said, if LAFC doesn't beat Colorado, they don't deserve anything, which I 100% agree with. They should be able to, over 2 legs, handle Colorado, and then go and play Columbus. I feel actually pretty good about that. It takes like Wilfred Nancy's style of play is not necessarily the easiest. Now I think they can probably recruit well and get a player profile that fits that system already, so that they're already kind of playing in that way. But I just like LAFC's chances better. But then you're talking about
you might end up with Miami,
which is
who's Cavalier.
That is
that a ridiculous way to pronounce that?
That is a Canadian. That's a Canadian team. That's a Canadian league team.
Okay.
They probably won their league in Canada. They should be easy. I would assume easy work for Miami.
Got it.
Yeah, this is a tough road.
Miami. Yeah, so that's a tough route.
Yeah, the road you would assume, just looking at this, would be Columbus, Miami, and then probably Monterrey, which is like, okay, that's not great. It's like LAFC doesn't get an easy ride in the competition at all.
Right.
And so I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say because the quarterfinal, which would be if they get through Columbus, isn't even scheduled. So who knows what Miami's going to look like then? Are all their players going to be injured?
Yeah. Are they going to have to rotate? Yeah. Yeah. So we could get lucky.
I mean,
we could just be that good this year. We don't know yet.
Sure. I would just say this. I think on the face of it, LAFC is not, if you're just looking at all the teams and you're ranking them, LAFC is not one of the top favorites. But they still, if you get a little bit of luck of the draw, you get a little bit of luck of what the form of their other teams are. I mean, they very well have the talent to win it. I would say that. But just on face value, you would probably pick Miami, Monterrey as your top choices. And then, as Travis said, the fact that MLS teams only one time have won this competition, it just kind of puts you up against it.
Right.
Even when you look at a team like Pumas, you might say like, oh, they're not as good as years prior, but like Mexican teams have a history in this competition. They should just feel good about it. All right. You know what I mean? With where they are. So.
Yeah. Ironically, I think if you're looking for an MLS team that does have maybe an easier time of it, it is Seattle, at least compared to the rest of us, given that Club America is the preceded team in that area of the bracket. And I was pretty unimpressed by them. And I don't know if they were playing like subs, but everyone, I don't know. I don't know how players actually treat these friendlies. Like maybe they're all just kind of fucking around.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would say in terms of like star power, the other side of the bracket's pretty stacked. You have Club America, you have Chivas, you have Cruz Azul, Seattle,
Cruz Azul's there, yeah.
Tigres, like the Galaxy are there. That's a pretty stacked.
I would love to see Bogusz hand it to Seattle. Seems like an outside chance that could happen.
That's true. I mean, that's the other thing.
I don't know if he'll play, but
we've kind of over recent years, MLS teams have helped out Liga MX teams by sending some of their better players there.
It's true. Yeah, it seems like Leagues Cup and CONCACAF Champions Cup have been pretty good for recruiting.
Yeah, they go, oh, thanks. These guys are pretty good.
This is good scouting.
We'll take that guy. And by the way, we can offer him more money than you can, and nothing doesn't hurt our cap. Yeah, that's an interesting.
You beat us. Too bad. You look pretty good.
Right.
We'll take half the team.
Yeah, like I said, when you put it all together, I wouldn't say LAFC is in the top. Just
it's
on face value, the top 3 or 4 teams. I mean, they're not even necessarily top in their own side of the bracket. Yeah. But then if you do get to the final, which look, you get to the final, anything can happen. It's still going to be, it's going to be rough.
All right. Last storyline.
And our final storyline for this week's 2 matches, one in the Champions Cup and one in Major League Soccer. And it's this. Just how soon will we see tactics changes from our team, and when will they start clicking? Here's the deal. Last year, first month and a half, we were dog shit. And then we got into form. We were doing cool stuff. Timlin got hurt. We lost to the Crew in Leagues Cup final. And it seemed like things just weren't going to work out for us. So I guess my question to you guys is, how soon will we see an end to the boring style of play under Steve Cherundolo that we've gotten used to? And just when will we get to see, I take it back from being boring. I haven't slept. I just want to know, do you think we're going to switch it up and play for Giroud? Or we're going to keep what we're doing so far? Look at the little squirrel.
That's not a European thing, Travis.
You got it, bud. You got it, bud. Look at all this shit. Walkable city, baby. You can't do this. You can't. What are we going to walk from Christmas Tree Lane to the 3252? Yeah, right. I'm cultured. I know about these sports. How soon we're going to click as a team? You think it's going to happen soon? You think it's going to take a while? Okay. Bye, bitch. You can say bitch now. Trump's president.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, no. He's going after everyone. I mean, it's fair.
How soon? Yeah, you mentioned earlier the guys who know the system, and it occurred to me that system is one that I don't know if we were hoping to see it be a little bit different as early as that friendly, but like we have been hoping like maybe the system will change a little bit, but it seems like if you're looking for guys who know the system and the system's not changing, then like that's how you see the same lineup and that's how you see the same system. By definition.
Yeah, it was interesting last season. I felt like right away we started to see the things where we were like, oh, okay, we can kind of see a plan here. We can kind of see what they're trying to do, because this was the problem that it's not necessarily a problem, but what we're talking about is something that occurred prior. When they went through that season and lost to the Crew, we were saying like, oh, they really can only attack one way. They're playing very direct. They're going all through Bouanga, and we feel like they're going to need some nuance. So they start 2024, and I think right away we saw them doing some things. It didn't always go their way. As Travis said, they weren't good early in the season. It was literally LAFC's worst start to a season ever. But we could like see things where we're like, I think if they just get a little bit better at this. Whereas watching them in preseason, it looks the same. I really haven't seen much to make me think that things are changing, but that doesn't mean that they're not. That just means that maybe the way that they're putting the tactics together is a slower build. Maybe they're introducing less concepts and they're saying, look, we were a good team. We have been a good team. We also have some new guys in here. Why don't we keep some continuity by not putting too many concepts to all these new guys and play to the strengths of the guys that we know are good, the Bouangas. I would say, Tillman plays pretty well in his system, at least when he's in a midfield 3 that's up and down. It obviously serves Hollingshead pretty well. Aaron Long plays well in a system where he's kind of 1v1 defending and really tight to his marker. Like, there's a lot of guys that they thrive in this, at least to an extent to which they're good enough to get to big games, right? Like, obviously at the end of the day, we want to win championships, and maybe it will take changing some things around to win championships and to win trophies. But I don't know. It's really hard to say just from what we've seen. I don't see anything changing really. Darren, we did that watch along, and even though they beat Club America, which was great, there was times when we both pointed out like, oh, it looks the same. Like, it doesn't look that different.
And look, they did get lucky a number of times in that game.
Sure.
Like, they pulled off the win, but Club America did not look like the Club America that I had seen before. It was a combination of our defense was good and they couldn't find a way to finish when they had a lot of chances to. Lloris came up with some incredible saves. which you can count on him to do most of the time.
Right.
But we also had Palencia, I don't know, made a goal line save.
Sergi.
Yeah, so like you could look at that and be like, all right, we're good, we're finding it, we're ready to go for the season. Or you could find it, or you could say like we made it through by the skin of our teeth, and what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think what we're really saying, and what, obviously the bigger picture is this: Druid's not going to thrive in a system, at least not for a full season, in which he's having to just run in transition and try to get behind defenses, and they're not using him as a focal point, and they're not setting up in the opponent's half where they're tilting the field and they're literally combining, and then when they lose the ball, they win it back right away and just put a team back under pressure. That's what we're talking about when we say LAFC could change, right? They can control the games a little bit more. They can dominate the ball a little bit more. They can be in the opponent's half a little bit more. But we saw, still a lot of 1v1 play, a lot of direct play. And if it wasn't there for the space for players like Bouanga, the ball backs back out. It goes out and it goes back to the back line, and they try to lure the opponent forward so that they can go direct again. And Giroud has a role to play in that. Obviously, he's a target man, but we all think that ultimately we would like to see a little bit more combination. And maybe, in that second half, I will say David Martinez didn't play. So maybe it's crazy to say a 19-year-old might be the key to unlocking all this.
Wow.
But right now, there's a lot of guys that they want to get on the ball. They want to run at guys. They want to run into space. They don't really want to combine too much. Maybe it's a pass here, and then they run past the back line. But there's not a lot of set offensive opportunities, which is going to be kind of like it was last season. So I can't say for sure. I believe, Steve put in the work last season, and I think that, as Travis pointed out, rightfully so, there were some other factors that caused him to change up what he was planning with this team. But I think he can do it again. And I think he maybe understands. Well, I don't think maybe he does. I know he understands a lot better how to train a team and to get them to do it, because it's not literally like you just show up and go, guys, remember all that stuff we were doing that like you guys were good, and Bouanga, he's almost Golden Boot winner, and like we were one goal away from going to the finals. We already won one trophy. Don't do that anymore. Let's not do that anymore. It just doesn't work.
Sucked.
Yeah, it just doesn't work that way. Remember, there are 11 guys with all different ideas. And like, even when the coach says something to them, they're still interpreting it in the way that they think is the way to do it. It's not a video game. And so it's right. Going to take time.
And if it was a video game the way I've been playing FIFA, it would be a nightmare anyway.
No? I thought you were smoking fools out there.
No.
Just killing 11-year-olds in Thailand.
Man, I'm so rusty. It's bad. It's bad out there, guys.
Do you do it with your headset on, or so that they can make fun of you, or no?
I didn't even think of that. Didn't even occur to me as an option.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take it even harder. Why not? There's also, I think, something to be said for like, let's get everybody on the same page with what the system is, and then like theoretically that could bode well for everyone being on the same page, changing and understanding what you're changing from, and everyone kind of having the same vocabulary about it and all that stuff.
Yeah,
it seems like let's at least like be a team first with all the new guys.
I 100% agree with you, because what we're asking of the team is to almost have like a second nature, because you don't really. I mean, you can script some things, you can have some automations where you go, okay, you pass here, this guy moves here, and that works. But ultimately, the best teams kind of give some freedom, and then that comes with some continuity with your teammates, some understanding of like what they like. We've heard Ryan Hollingshead, who is always pretty good about like giving an insight, has talked about that. He's like, look, I'll get the ball and I'll know if Carlos is ahead of me, Carlos probably wants me to pass it to his feet. Whereas if Bouanga is ahead of me, Bouanga might want me to play in his space. And those are little things that you have to learn over time with your teammates, over training, games. I mean, all these things are going to happen. Like, there's going to be moments where they're going to have a set like look to them, and they'll use some possession, and maybe they'll have like a 15 pass goal, but then there's going to be times where they just 1-2 pass and then they score a goal and they go as quick as possible. But it's just a matter of like what the kind of more likely attribute of them in, like how they toggle, which way they toggle. Do they go a little more direct? Do they go a little more possession heavy? Again, I think we all want them to go a little more possession heavy, and maybe instead of always trying to just go, be a little more methodical and just wear teams down. I think that will serve them too in the long run, because it's a tough league with a lot of travel, and the more you have the ball, the less you're running. But I just don't think it's not a switch that you just pull from day one. And like you said, get some guys confidence in the lineup with the team, and then start to put some of the more complicated concepts on them and start to kind of layer that in.
What's like either a date or a percentage of the way through the season where if nothing has changed, you're starting to worry a little bit, or you're starting to say like, you know what, this is just working this time. We don't need to necessarily change anything.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Like, I mean, confident enough saying that.
If they're winning, does it really matter? Right? Like if they come out the gates and they're steamrolling teams.
They really weren't last year, yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be foolish to put a timeline on it. Because like at the end of the day too, like the game it's flowing, it's nonstop. Like you can't just say like, oh, we're winning games, but not with possession. I don't like that. Like the games are going to be the games. Like sometimes you got to play the game. Sometimes you're going to have to be that direct team. Sometimes you're going to, want to be a team that has the ball more just by default because the other team doesn't want the ball. And so you're going to have to be good in those moments. But to dictate it and say like, oh, if by the 10th game they're not playing possession soccer, I think that would be kind of silly. I think the only time it wouldn't be silly is if Steve himself were to come out and go, you know what we're really trying to do is this. Whenever a coach, and this is why coaches don't do this a lot of times, is like, here's my philosophy. We want this, we want this, we want this. And even when teams are winning, if they're not doing that, people will be like, well, then what are you doing? Like they're winning, but they're not doing what you're telling them to do.
Or they're not winning. And it's like,
yeah,
I thought you said you're going to try to pull this off, and it sounds like you're just not doing it.
Right. And so that's why coaches use words like control versus like having the ball. Like you can control the game without having the ball. So I think it'll be interesting. But it would be silly to put a date on it unless, like I said, Steve, which I don't think he will, comes out and goes like, I just really think we should have more possession and we should really be doing this. Then that kind of puts them on the clock.
Yeah. And he kind of half made that mistake last season. He did that a little bit last season and kind of backtracked. And all right. When we come back, it is Happy Foot, Sad Foot Fashion Week. And we're back. A new season means new kits across the league, and it's also award season here in Los Angeles. So we decided it's time to announce the 2025 Happy Foot, Sad Foot Kit Award winners.
Love it.
We're doing it. LAFC new away kit. I think they'll be out of competition. Let's just see what we think about this kit.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It seems
you love it. You want it. You're getting it, whether you like it or not. It's just happening. So let's not
I think it's fine. This kit is fine.
Yeah, none of us can be actually like objective about it.
Yeah, although it's out of competition.
Objectively, the collar is stupid. Not having a collar, but the way in which it's designed.
I was a little bit taken aback when I reviewed all the other kit releases, and there's maybe one other kit that has a collar.
St. Louis is really the only other one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh, we really chose that.
Well, again, from the front, you're like, cool, it's a collar. And then you realize, it's not a collar.
It's not quite a collar. And it like flies up in the wind as they're running. It looks really dumb.
Yeah. And it's not, again, if you get a collar and you do it right and you have a collar, you can look cool like Eric Cantona, like he did in the 90s. You can't do that with this. You could put the wings up, but then you just got a flat back. It's silly.
I doubt the wings will stay up. Yeah. And on top of that, it's like it feels like a pretty generic.
Right. That's like the template. One flourish where it was like, this is very cool. And then it's not done properly. So it's like, oh.
Right. That said, like on its face, just alone, like a white kit with gold, I'm down for that in general.
Yeah. The shorts
I don't
combo.
think it's a bad kit. It's just the bar was pretty low with the smokescreen kits. And sure, it clears that bar in my mind for me. But it's just like, okay, they've got an away kit. Fair enough.
I won't be buying. I won't be buying it.
Yeah, okay. I don't think I will either.
I'm trying, and this is just a personal thing for me.
I don't buy all the kits, but yeah.
I usually do. But because I've amassed so many kits and I've given away so many kits as a result, which I guess this is bad news for people because if I was buying it, I might be giving it away. But I've now come to a place where like if I find a kit from the team that I like, that I'm like, this is probably the best kit. I'm gonna stick with it until they get a better one. And that like retro kit
That's a good
that
way
they
to do
put
it, I
out,
think.
like they're not, until they put out a better one than that, I'm not buying another kit.
Yeah, that's also a big part of where I'm coming from with this is like this is a light jersey and the archive kit is a light jersey, and that's like that's an incredible, like maybe one of the best kits in MLS history.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's like so like the bar is lower to clear with another kit that's with it, but at the same time, it's like I'll just wear that one anytime, and I prefer they wear that one anytime. So
even with Juventus, they put out a third kit, and it's black, and it has a collar, and it has a real collar. But it's probably the coolest kit they've ever. It's probably one of the best kits in Europe. It's all black. You might have seen it, Darren. Like it's been going around, but it is stunning, and I have it. I got it like before it sold out. Like it was such a good kit that it sold out immediately, and I luckily got my hands on one. And now I'm like, don't need another until Juventus puts out a better kit. Don't need another one.
Well, sorry to not be able to simp and advertise for these.
Yeah, wah wah. Do we have sad trombone sound on our soundboard?
No problem.
That's strong.
There it is.
That's having just watched the Saturday Night Live 50th celebration. That's the Debbie Downer trombone.
Oh yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
that's good. All right, it's time for the awards. Are you ready?
Okay, let's talk about good stuff. Maybe
I'm going to announce the nominees for each award, and Vince, you are going to announce the winner, which will also be you deciding in real time who the winner is.
Which is the only way it should be, baby.
I do not know the answers. Yeah. All right, the first award is the put all your previous kits into ChatGPT and ask for a new one. No one cares, and you clearly didn't either award. The nominees are Nashville SC, CF Montreal, Chicago Fire, and Sporting Kansas City. I'll put the kits up on the screen if you're watching the video. I suppose if you're just listening, try to check them out while we're talking about them, because it would take forever to just describe every kit. But what do you think here, Vince?
Okay.
Who has won this prestigious award?
So I think now ChatGPT, known for plagiarizing, which for SKC and for Montreal, it is almost like a direct ripoff. Like they didn't even do any like modifications or anything. And so I think that's just too close. Like I want to believe that ChatGPT gives me just a little bit. Yeah. Chicago's I think would be better if I think it's like a powder blue or like a light blue if it was more prominent like powder blue. You know what I mean? And so I think the winner is going to have to be Nashville for me, because that shade of navy is strong. It looks good with the yellow. And then as my friend Travis would say, have you seen the new Hyundais? They're pretty cool looking. And the Hyundai happens to be their sponsor. So let's go with Nashville. Let's go with Nashville. I just think it pops. Like that color of blue is a good color. Like you put somebody in that color, they're going to look good. So it does fit the guidelines of a ChatGPT style kit where it was like, hey, give us something new. And they were like,
here's our kits.
They're like, hey, that Johnny Cash kit's kind of cool. How about if we did it navy, but then we also use some of your other colors? And people were like, got it. So yes, it's both the best of the group, but it also does fit the parameters.
Okay.
High bar.
Congratulations, Nashville SC. You have another.
You're welcome, Walker.
It exists. Okay, the next category, the next award, the Cost of Living Adjustment Award, which is, sure, fine, let's call it a slight upgrade. Yes, this is technically better than your previous kit. You've done it. The nominees are Austin, Cincinnati, Miami again, and Toronto. What do we think, Vince?
So this is tough because
Miami splitting the vote.
Miami's splitting the vote. And the problem with Miami splitting the vote is this. The pink kit that they replaced with a real collar was a legit good kit. Like I like that kit.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. The black one.
I don't mind this one.
I don't mind it, but I'm just saying like this is ostensibly not a step up. Like it just is a new kit.
It's a lateral move. Yeah. For sure.
Whereas the black one is an upgrade, but not by much. Like I like the kind of just the side by side. There's not too much going on. I thought the black one that they had before was like, is that a pattern just to have a pattern? So they're splitting the vote here. Toronto, I'm gonna just say flatly, you're out of the running. It does nothing for me. So that leaves me with Austin.
That kid really is like.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't even deserve to be in this category. It's just, I think it's more because of how bad their last kits were.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what's funny is Toronto for the longest time had really good kits. Like, and it just like the past few years, much like the team,
but
bam,
yeah,
down.
yeah.
So now it's between Austin and Cincy, and they are both like slight upgrades. I'm gonna give it to Austin because it's a slight. It's a little bit more. Like I think the Cincy one is the slightest. It's like razor thin margins. Although I do like it. I like the thick sash.
Like it.
I like the colors.
It's like let's try this now.
Yeah, I think blue. I think Austin, blue and orange, but like a green kit. Like, yeah. When was the last time we saw a green kit?
Austin like refined it in a nice way.
And it looks great on our friend Ilya Sanchez. Although I would much rather see him in our kit, but man still makes things look good. It looks great within
the context of it looking terrible.
Yeah.
and like a nightmare.
Well, like he does, he elevates all things. That's
right. He makes a smart choice. Okay, the next award is the accidentally a worse version of another team's new kit award. This is a tough one to fall into. Apologies to these incredible teams, all incredible nominees. The first one is FC Dallas is really just DC United's new kit, but worse. And then you have San Diego FC, and their kit is really just Chicago's new kit, but worse.
Okay. Dallas's is really bad.
They know how to make a bad kit, don't they?
Yeah, just nothing about
They're the best of the best at the worst.
Nothing about it does anything for me. I just don't see any redeeming qualities. Whereas like San Diego's at least has like.
I feel like Dallas every year, Adidas is like, "What do you want to do?" And they're like, "Is there any way that we could save money on this? Like, not spend it. Like, you could give us money back."
They're like, "Ask us next year." They're like, "No, we do this every year."
Literally, like, whatever's left over, give it to us.
Yeah, just tell us what the rest of the teams pick, and then we'll do not that. And they're like, "Okay, cool, yeah, that's easy." And they're like, "And then do you want anything else on it?" Yeah, we'll put the Texas flag, and our jock tag will just be LH Lamar Hunt, but nothing stylized.
We saw this great kit in this East Bay catalog. Can you match that?
Yeah, and it's made worse by the fact that what it is juxtaposed with, I think DC is legitimately one of the cooler ones.
It is, yeah. So it was also like, you can do this well, and you chose not to.
Yeah, so it really made it a steeper challenge for them. So it's got FC Dallas winner of this category.
Oh yes, it's a prestigious award. Yeah. The next award is the accidentally a worse version of their own previous kit award. The nominees are Houston Dynamo, St. Louis City, Vancouver Whitecaps, Atlanta United, New York Red Bulls, and Orlando City. Vince, we've got the one other caller in here. Yeah. But it's mostly, it really is like take their last kit and make it worse.
Yeah. The caller is like an early leader in the clubhouse here. Vancouver, who again,
Houston especially is literally like, oh, make that black white.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, we use, and what's funny is their kind of rebrand was to go like black became a major color, and they're like, this time though, and also it's a 20th anniversary. It's a 20th anniversary.
Oh, it's a 20th anniversary kit. So, that's rough.
Okay, so I guess that makes sense.
That's a 20th anniversary kit?
Yeah, but that's why they steered away from, because 20 years ago was really a time when Adidas was like, oh, these are the high school jerseys we have left over. Just put your logo on it. Okay, so I'll cut them some slack. Vancouver, I don't like that. Like, you've had good kits with like this style, but they keep reusing it. Like the sash across, like the middle part, which was cool when they first came out with it. Now it's kind of been overdone. Atlanta's is, I can't even tell the difference. That's the same kit that they've been playing in, right?
Yeah. It's a little bit different, but yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't see how you justify a purchase of that if you had the other one.
And I think the winner it's just Orlando, because just looking at it makes me wonder if I'm on drugs or if I need to be wearing glasses. There's just a lot going on there, and that I think that kind of mirage effect. I'm gonna say
it's the magic eye kit.
Yeah, they're the winner just by trying to confuse us all.
Yes. All right. Congratulations, Orlando City. Congratulations to the following teams who are the winners, not the nominees. These awards were presented in a previous ceremony last week in a hotel ballroom, not this fantastic theater you see before you tonight. New England Revolution, congratulations on winning the Accidentally a Kit for the Kit Sponsor and Not Your Soccer Team award. Congratulations. Amazing.
It's so spot on.
Packaging for the Gillette Mach 3.
If Gillette had done that for an activation, I'd be like, whoa, that's actually a really cool activation kit. But that's what they're going to wear.
You have all their their brand ambassadors wearing these Gillette kits. Like, we're a soccer sponsor.
Both of us don't shave, really, because we're lazy, probably. I mean, that's my reason for it.
Yep, that's me.
But if I was walking through and somebody's like, man, you should start like full on shaving, I'd be like, well, with a kit like that, maybe I should.
All right. Congratulations to New York City FC for winning the Accidentally a Header Background on the Investor Relations page of a corporate conglomerate's website in the late 90s award. Congratulations, NYCFC. It's a skyscraper reference, I guess.
It's up there.
Just like the stock photo every corporation
it is
used
up
on their websites when they were like, we should have a website.
I literally, them and Dallas must have been absent that week. And Adidas was like, well, we've got to put a jersey out. You guys haven't gotten back to us. Here's what you get.
And finally, congratulations to the Columbus Crew, winners of the Accidentally Leaked Nuclear Waste on My Already Botched DIY Foam Marble Kitchen Island Countertop Refinishing Project Award with their Goosebumps kit. I don't know. It glows in the dark. Cool.
Okay. You had me at Goosebumps. Love Goosebumps. But like, if that's nothing about that screams Goosebumps to me, one. Two, I also went through my entire adolescent life not knowing what R.L. Stine looked like, and now I do, and I want it back.
Yeah, I actually did know what he looked like. But yeah, I guess I like the idea that they're like, we could highlight a fan for being a fan. Like, I guess I'm okay with the like what they're doing there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it justifies Goosebumps as anything that's relevant. Like, I don't like the Johnny Cash kit. I don't like the Bruce Lee kit. Like, I don't. Why are we taking something so irrelevant and making it like we're gonna celebrate this? Like, don't celebrate something irrelevant on your kit. But do it for something else. I don't know.
Somehow trying to reach a wider audience, but then I think that same audience goes, "How is that a Goosebumps?"
Yeah, kit? What wider audience? Like, I love Goosebumps. Got to get this soccer kit.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Very specific category. Yes.
Many years, no teams fit into this category, and it's really embarrassing whenever we announce it because nobody wins.
Yeah.
Finally, we have someone there. So thank you for that. All right, next up, we have nominees once again for the Good Trip, Bad Trip Award. The Good Trip, Bad Trip Award gives you a set of nominees, and we have a winner of 2 awards. Whether you're looking at it and you're having a good trip or a bad trip, they are all trippy. The same pool of trippy nominees are the Colorado Rapids, Philadelphia Union, and San Jose Earthquakes. I'm tripping out, but is it a good thing? Vince, who are our winners?
I mean, I kind of like the comic booky effect, newspapery. I know that it's related to Lars Fredrickson from Rancid, the Earthquakes kit. Like, it's kind of punk rocky, but at the same time, it's also like, I don't get it. Union,
it's like what we said about Columbus.
Yeah, the Union.
Like, I'll get a band shirt, sure.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, I mean, do some kind of Rancid mashup. That's cool, but what is this? What,
can you show up with that kit at a Rancid concert?
Yeah. Is it a newspaper print? Is this microfiche? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? The Union one is like, I mean, it would be winner for Bad Trip because it's just not good.
That's what I'm saying. We do get a winner for Bad Trip and Good Trip.
Okay, so clear Union, Bad Trip. I'm going to say, because I actually kind of like the Rapids one. We're looking at it on a smaller scale, but I think in person it probably looks even better, like what they actually did with it. So Rapids will get the Good Trip. I mean, it's got the paddle. I like that. It's got the paddle oars on it too. Like,
they literally just put full on Rapids on the kit. I actually really like it.
Yeah.
And I mean, who's better at good trips than Colorado, right?
Well, and again, I love the little like hint towards it with the jock tag. Like, they're like, let's do paddle oars. Like, whereas like Philly could have done like lightning bolt jock tag or something, but it just seems like they didn't do anything.
Right. Yeah, I don't really know what the lightning bolts are a reference to, and I don't care.
Yeah, is Philly's electric somehow? What is it? What? Is it cheese sauce? I don't know.
It could be something really great and really cool, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like Colorado had an opportunity to do the Rapids and make it like the colors and fuck it up with the colors, and they made it work. They did like a good sort of like slick color scheme. Okay, the next award is the inaugural Taylor Twellman What Are We Doing Award. The nominees for this are the Carson Galaxy and Minnesota United. Galaxy just did an LA Lakers kit, and Minnesota United did like rivers converging in the middle of the kit.
I mean, you and I
who is What Are We Doing more?
we might be alone in this because we've talked to other people that have said like I like gradients, and you and I are both like it's not good for clothing though. Like it's a graphic design tool, not for your shirt.
Yes. It can be good on a shirt if used well.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
it's definitely not inherently good.
It pains me to say it, although I think that their green kit, the green LA, like Green City kit or whatever they called it, that the Galaxy had was one of the better kits of the year that year. This one I don't think is. A lot of people are telling me that it's one of their top kits, and I don't think it's that good. I think it's just like slightly above average. The colors are kind of cool. I just don't like the gradients. And so for that reason, they can't win this award because I kind of understand what they were doing. Minnesota,
sure.
What are you doing? Really?
Yeah,
like, what are we doing here? You're just, it looks like half of it's
Is there a waterfall?
Wet.
Is a giant pissing down the middle of your shirt there? What's going on?
Yeah, did you like,
also you have the Rapids to compare it to? That's tough luck.
Yeah, and Minnesota's
like
known
you can do water well.
Known for lakes, not rivers.
Oh, I mean,
I know that the Mississippi goes through
lakes,
it,
right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's lakes.
I don't know. It just looks like a splash of something.
It's something. It could be a stock photo. I don't know. The next award is the Welcome to the League. Your kits already suck and remind us all that your logo is even worse. The nominees for this are San Diego FC and San Diego FC with their 2 new kits. Hard to tell which one's worse. Should this be a tie? San Diego FC wins either way.
Yeah, it's kind of a tie. It's the white one. The blue is like a strong blue.
Sure.
But
great.
Like everything else is
Congratulations, San Diego FC. Yeah. You still suck. You suck until you don't suck. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. It is the oh fuck, oh no, this is actually good, oh no, oh fuck award. Going to a team that definitely outplayed us on this. The nominees are the Portland Timbers, Seattle Sounders, Real Salt Lake, Charlotte FC, a dark horse candidate, and DC United. I have a clear winner for me. Vince, what do you think?
I mean, I have a clear winner for me too. These are all great though. I will say that. Like, it's a clear winner.
I do really like all of these.
But these are all clear. The 4 that you picked are the 4 elite.
5.
Or sorry, 5.
I picked 5.
5 elite of this go around. It's the Seattle kit though.
For you, it's Seattle?
Yeah, it's just so like that's how you do a pattern. You do it crisp. You do it with some actual like understanding of how like clothing works. And then it does have like a legit story. Like it fits in with their vibe, kind of the way that the Portland one has a legit story. And I've shared this with a lot of people and on this podcast. And I think I've said this multiple times. Most times when a kit gets made, then the story happens. Don't let them fool you. They do not come up with the story beforehand and then design the kit that way.
Which is like to the interconnected, diverse population in our fan base. No.
But these 2 look like they actually might have been like, hey, we should do a kit that speaks to this. And they're like, okay, we can do that. And they did. And that's great. Instead of just being like, the 3 lines mean that. And you're like, come on, bro. Yeah. Like, first of all, the 3 lines.
The 3 lines represent the solid, liquid, and gas because we perform in all. In all elements.
Because in our body, there are solids, liquids, and gases at every point. And
it represents water because our bodies are water.
Wait, I want to know which one you picked because you really liked a lot of these, and I feel like you did go back and did you go back and forth on these, or did you have one that for sure was...
I have a clear winner. Okay. Seattle. The Seattle kit is a very close second for me, but to me, it's Portland. I think Portland is like one of my favorite kits ever. I think the color combo is awesome.
Yeah, that shade of green is strong.
That shade of green is so good. Plus the like full on gold and the tree age years, like the design is awesome.
Something that we don't see as much anymore. It used to happen back in the 90s when you used to watch soccer and you would see like Arsenal had like JVC and they had like Sega, and Juventus used to have oh my god, Sony. Like Tillamook is a legit cool sponsor. Like it looks cool on there. Like,
that's one of the few sponsors that makes the jersey look cooler and not worse.
Yeah, it's something where you're like, I actually like that cheese. I would like that.
Yeah. Well, it's just a well-designed logo.
I think it's a good logo.
I think BMO, the BMO logo is really hard to counterbalance that on a kit. That's why the archive kit is so good, because we were like, let's just sidestep it.
Yeah, because like even Yeti is cool, right? But like the Yeti font on the Austin jersey is just too much. The Royal Caribbean on the I like that they just used their logo on Miami, but it's overpowering. Whereas the Tillamook just works. Like it doesn't overpower the kit. But then again, like I said, it's something where you're like, I actually like that. I will use that.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, including Charlotte was like, that was their win, was there in the category. They kind of snuck in there, but I like the little mystique to it.
Charlotte wins for secondary badge use. I'll tell you that. If that was a category, like secondary badge, Charlotte wins.
I also just love the concept of like, it's kind of like a spotlight kind of roaming around. Like you see some of it, you don't see some of it. That's cool. Congratulations to all the winners of the 2025 Kit Awards. Tell us in the comments what we got wrong.
We didn't get
what you're
wrong.
Definitely objectively right about, and we're
can't
wrong
wait.
about.
I just can't wait. I just can't wait for all the sports writers who have absolutely the worst, most garbage style to put their takes out there, because I love hearing from them.
Yeah, we've said this before, but I would love to get like legit fashion people to weigh in, like the menswear guy on Twitter, Derek guy.
Ooh. He'd probably pan.
I'd love to get their takes, but my guess is a legit fashion person would be like, this isn't my thing. I don't know. I don't care.
It's a jersey, nerds. We're like, wait, we're the nerds?
Yeah. Oh my God, we are. All right. When we come back, it's time to make some bets. And we're back. It's time for a segment called Bet It and Forget It.
Bet It and Forget It.
Every week we end the show with a bet for this week's game. We make an outlandish prediction, something that almost definitely will not happen, but could. Each week we all put up $5. If no one hits, the money rolls over to the next week, and eventually by the time someone's weird prediction comes true, they might win a good chunk of change. We have a $75 bet pool that rolled over from the last season, but I forget what we decided about it for the season-wide predictions last time.
Oh, no, those are... Oh, yeah, what are those? Those are just kind of pride. I don't think there's a winner of those. I think those were just like, what's the most outlandish thing you could put out there, and then you could say that like you were really smart.
Great, which I was last season. I want to say.
Just want to put that out there.
I just want to throw that out there. Given how terrible my fantasy team is this year,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another
couple weeks. There's some things maybe happening.
I have some rules proposals for when Travis is back.
There's some things brewing. I think people know what we're talking about. There's some rumors brewing that may save Darren in some fashion.
A lot is up in the air. Yeah, we'll see. If we contradicted what we said last week, we'll correct it next week. For now, the bet pool is $75. Let's start with Travis's. He sent one in. Welcome back to the show, Travis Helwig from London.
It's your pal Travis here in a very walkable city. It's like 11 p.m. And my bet for this week, and I'm very confident in it, is that David Martinez will get a brace. That's my bet.
Okay.
All right.
God bless.
Wait, when he started these, it was lighter out where he was. Did he just walk? He
mentioned 8 a.m. the first ones, and he mentioned 11 p.m. on this one.
Wow. I mean, he takes walkable.
He was just walking, investigating, looking into things for us all day and night.
Got it. Wow.
That's how walkable that city is, and that's how obsessed he is.
Yeah, that's commitment. Okay, David Martinez brace.
That's commitment. It's London's commitment to walkability as well.
I wish you know what? I wish he would have found somebody and asked them to help with his prediction. Just for
And
the
then,
sheer
fuck
comedy
off,
of
MLS, are you
trying to
kidding?
explain. He's like, I do an MLS podcast.
Why the
and
fuck
they'd
would
be
I care
like,
about that?
that's a thing? You guys do that? Okay, it's a pretty good bet.
You don't just watch our games?
Yeah.
Well, most people do.
I will one up his brace and go Giroud hat trick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just he's like, hey, you guys were worried about me. Don't think I can play in this style. Well, here's 3 fucking goals, and they're gonna be bangers.
Wait, is that part of it?
No.
That's too outlandish. Okay.
No. But I was
A hat trick
imagining
for
that
Giroud.
they did have the clip of him scoring that in Coachella in the like behind closed doors game, and that was a banger. And I was like, yeah, just grip it and rip it, bro. Like, just start
Just do
shooting.
it, finally.
If they're
Yeah.
not getting you the ball enough and you're not getting enough shots, just start shooting from everywhere. Just Kobe it.
Yeah. I agree. So this is a hat trick in either game.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see if this is outlandish enough. But what I wanted to do was a first goal with the club will occur.
Okay. That's good.
But that's maybe 2 over the course of the 2 games would be the way to do it.
No, I mean, there's not a lot of guys, that are, I mean, obviously the new guys, it's a possibility for them, but they don't play in positions in which you would imagine they're going to be scoring.
True.
So I think
So
that's
it's a combination.
fair.
I don't think there's anyone who's not new who really has a shot at this. Is there?
No.
Chanot? I don't like.
Aaron scored. I guess Chanot. I don't think Chanot scored, but who knows how much.
I'm thinking about the new guys.
I know that you think that Hugo can probably score, but I'm telling you, Darren, it's not going to happen.
I do, and he will one day.
Watch. There's going to be a big gust of wind in one of these games, and it's just
PKs count.
He's going to sail it over.
Set pieces count.
I would love if he ran up and took a penalty.
Yeah,
that would be pretty baller. No, I think this is good because it's also we're talking about a team in which, like, you know what's probably going to happen? LAFC might score 3 goals, and Bolango probably scores all 3 of them this week. Yeah, right.
That's what's really going to happen. Yeah, I think it works to have one over the course of 2 games.
Yeah. Or they score 4 goals, and Bolango has 3, and Hollingshead has 1. Like, that's how it's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm targeting like a new midfielder. Really.
Yeah, like if Delgado or Jesus were to score, it's really Holmes injured. I don't think he's going to play. Actually, it's really just those 2.
It's really just those 2.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that's fair.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. Oliveira is going to have like 5 goals over the course of the 2 games.
He is gonna dominate. Oh wait, yeah.
Yikes!
Do you want a kicker in there? Kike scores for Gremio, or?
Yeah, maybe. I'm interested to see how he does for them. Okay, I believe that's our show, Vince.
That's it. We did it. You and I.
Let's play
all
some
the heavy
soccer.
lifting as always.
Ugh.
He'll be back once he figures out where he is in London.
Yeah, get found and come back soon, Travis. That is our show. Our theme music is done by the insane team of James Valentine, Nate Walcott, and Louis Palmer. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel where all episodes and clips are available in video form at youtube.com/@HappyFootSadFoot. You can review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Those reviews really help. You can do comments on Spotify now. You can follow us on social media, including Blue Sky and Threads, all the things that some people are talking about, some other people sometimes using. You made it this far in the episode. Chances are you're enjoying the show. If that's true and you want to show even more support, you can consider becoming a friend of the Foot for $5 a month at patreon.com/HappyFootSadFoot, or pick up some Halfo Sappho inspired merch by going to happyfootsadfootpod.com, including the shirt I'm wearing and shirts with the new logo on it and all kinds of other crazy stuff. I got that pint glass with the new logo. That's going to be awesome. Cool. Any support goes a long way to keeping the show going, the community growing. Thank you for all the support thus far to everyone. And we'll see you at BMO, baby. I love you. Bye.
I mean, I'm definitely not going to do it the first time with Travis on here. I mean, come on.
I mean,
because then I'll have.
I would. Well, see, there's slack to pick up.
Yeah, but you need to understand that, like, if I do it, then he's going to think that, like, it was him. He was the reason why I wasn't doing it.
There, which is like maybe that is a wrinkle you want to throw in there. I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to devolve the reasons why. I mean, I have my reasons. Let's just say that I have my reasons.
Hey, who am I to force something so personal?